What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea. I am tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Ah, yeah.
And we're engaged. We like dancing here together. This week, Creature Feature Summer continues with snakes on a plane. Holy shit. So many people requested this. I got emails about snakes on a plane like every day. Pretty much.
It's never described as a horror movie, but it's a creature feature enough,
Yeah.
so
Well,
whatever.
I was looking up to see if there were any like retrospectives about snakes on a plane or anything, and there was one. I think it was either Dread Central or Bloody Disgusting did a piece about it, and it was a piece just about the enjoyment of dumb horror and silly horror, and so I think this counts.
This is a great movie.
It is. It's so fun.
It is exactly what it needs to be.
You had never seen it before. And
No, it's because, okay, so this comes out in 2006, but there's talk of it early as 2005 because of the title. And it becomes like an internet thing.
Yes.
And the only reason I didn't see this was because I was at band camp when it came out.
That's such a
and
bummer.
it was during the era of midnight releases, which, as we've talked about before, we don't really think is a thing nowadays.
Yeah, because every movie comes out at midnight, it seems
No, they
like.
come out the day before at like 5 in the evening. Yeah, it's not even a big premiere thing. So, and yeah, it's like every movie. But back then, it was only special movies, and it was literally the ticket said 12:01 just to make sure it's in the right day. And I was at band camp, and I knew that by time I got back, like, you had to have the midnight experience. So I just never went and saw it.
Yeah.
You did, though.
I was on the hype train for Snakes on a Plane for so long because I'm not exactly sure where it started as a meme, but my memory of it is LiveJournal. Like, everyone on LiveJournal went absolutely apeshit over this thing, and it was an old meme before we called it memes. Like, I don't think at that point that's what we were referring to it as, but I remember it being a thing. I think I remember when they did reshoots and stuff.
Yep.
And I was following this thing for the better part of a year.
You want to know how much I was following it? I have in my hands a Word document that I wrote.
Stop. Are you serious?
In June of 2006. This was at the
Holy
very
shit.
end of my junior year in high school.
I did not know he was going to have this.
No, this is a surprise.
With him.
I wrote this while sitting at a rehearsal for graduation for the class above me because I was in band, like I said. And so we had to be there at the rehearsals to play the fucking dun, 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 dun. So this was me with an old-ass clunky laptop that I brought just to write. This wasn't for a school paper or anything. I just wrote on my own for the fuck of it, "The Internet Meme and Intellectualism, a Revolution in the Making."
You just wrote that.
I just wrote this while sitting in the fucking community center.
You
for
really
graduation.
are Rushmore.
Thank you. Yes, this is 2.5 pages of single spaced, and the third paragraph is, "Have you seen what Samuel L. Jackson has been up to lately? Research what up-and-coming movies he's set to star in, and you'll see a strange title among them. Snakes on a Plane. A very strange title for a very strange premise. The movie's plot is exactly what one would think after reading the title." I go on to talk about how, wouldn't you know it, months after filming was already completed for the film, Jackson and crew went back to record several additional scenes, including one containing the line that was created on the internet.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
The inclusion of the new content even changed the rating of the movie from PG-13 to R. All this was done over an internet meme. So I did use the word meme in here.
Oh, okay.
And the rest of this paper talks about how "I'm the Juggernaut bitch" was a line made.
That would have been the summer before, I think.
I believe so.
That sounds right.
It might have been around the same time.
It was definitely around the same time.
I also talk about how a question on Jeopardy was "You're the man now, dog" after the website, and how Jon Stewart mentioned snakes on a plane, and I thought that was worth including. The rest of the paper goes on to somehow connect internet memes being featured in popular culture as a silent revolution of the intellectual class against the Bush administration.
Holy fuck.
Yep, that's what I was doing.
Amazing. I'm going to cite that in my sources section of the podcast. MLA style or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually kind of amazing having that, because in my memory, I was thinking, we didn't really call them memes at that point, but we did.
Now we have proof.
We have contemporary sourcing. Holy fuck. That is so funny.
Yeah, man.
It's weird to think that when we were in high school, the internet was just, like, it was notable if anything from it was referenced in broader pop culture.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Enough for me to write a little paper about it.
Yeah, like, them reshooting... I'm just trying to think of, like, the difference between then and now is so crazy, in that the fact that they reshot parts of this to make people on the internet happy back then was amazing and was so funny and felt like a little win. Just, all of us weirdos online, we got our stupid movie made even stupider, and it just felt so great. And I think now... you can't do, like, that is not the same anymore.
No, now it's the norm.
Well, now it's the norm, and just if you reshoot, like, if we heard something was reshooting to include memes, it doesn't feel as fun. It just feels
it would be more pandering.
Yeah,
because I mean that it goes hand in hand with the Iron Man Marvel revolution of how nerd culture became pop culture. In 2006, nerd culture is fucking nerd culture.
Yeah,
man.
nerd culture's not quite pop culture yet, or mainstream.
In this paper, I'm talking about the people who use their 56Ks to check their emails, and that's it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, the internet warriors who are like, oh, that's an internet thing. Let me get online and talk about it with my other secret internet friends.
It felt a bit, I don't want to say counterculture, that's not the right word, but it just felt a bit subversive.
I'm pretty sure I used the word counterculture.
Yeah, it just felt a bit more like, holy shit, they know we exist kind of thing. And
definitely. And then also, the sad thing is that this movie didn't do well at the box office.
Well.
Maybe one of the first major indicators that the internet is not real life.
Yeah, internet's not real life, guys. I did my part. I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I saw this. I did my part. I saw this at midnight. A bunch of my friends and I went. We were all just shy of 17, so my mom had to take us. I was actually just messaging with her about this, and she said still she remembers so much of it and had such a great time. And she remembered things that I totally forgot about, like the fact that, one, there's a bunch of people dressed as different Samuel L. Jacksons, which I totally forgot about, but you had Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction.
Oh no, do you think anyone did blackface?
Not that I remember, but again, who knows if it was
2006 high schoolers?
Dude, I don't know, man.
Probably.
I don't know. But and then they in the theater there were different sections of people that before and during the movie were all hissing at each other, and it just was a thing where everyone was trying to out-hiss each other. It was a lot of fun.
You said you brought rubber snakes that were confiscated?
Yeah, we brought a bunch of rubber snakes. One, we decorated my mom's car. We tied a bunch of snakes to because she had a van, so it had the kind of bike rack thing on the top. So we tied a bunch of snakes to it. So we were driving down the highway, and there's just snakes flapping around everywhere. But yeah, we brought a bunch of snakes into the theater because we wanted to throw them around and stuff. And yeah, we got them confiscated.
Yeah, I remember the turn in midnight showings when the staff caught on to like, oh, they're bringing beach balls and shit. We need to confiscate them. And then the little guerrilla war that followed of like, what can we sneak in?
Yeah.
And some people getting like full-on inflatable rafts in there somehow and fucking getting them around.
Midnight shows aren't the same anymore.
Hey, we can't say that definitively.
I know, we're just old.
But I feel like they're not the same.
It could just be us getting nostalgic. But... oh man, yeah, this movie was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I love so much that the reshoots made this rated R.
Yeah, so they would have had to do that whole bathroom sex scene because that's booby as all hell.
That's right. Yeah, they probably added that. The guy getting bit on the dick.
Yep.
he pees on the snake a little bit,
Oh
which
yeah,
I think
the
is
snake
really
gets fucking
funny.
pissed on. He was like, ah.
Yeah, I know. It's such a cute little animation.
They're swearing a whole bunch, so it's
Lots
a
of
lot of.
swears. I think I can't imagine a PG-13. Like, the movie that would have existed without the internet is the most unremarkable movie, because it would have been called,
was that Flight?
it's like
some
United
bullshit
90
flight.
something.
Yeah.
Pacific Flight,
something, yeah.
And God bless Samuel Jackson. He realized that they were ultimately not going with the working title for the actual title, which movies rarely do. But he said, "I'll walk if you don't keep it Snakes on a Plane." And I love reading interviews with him about this movie, because he signed on for this just based on the title, apparently. I totally believe this is true, even though it sounds like such a, an apocryphal kind of fun, cute story. But I honestly think he heard the title and just signed on. Like, I can totally believe that happened.
The title and the then director, Ronnie Yu.
Who did Freddy vs. Jason and
Bride of Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah, so he signed on, and because he signed on just based on the title, Snakes on a Plane, a bunch of other actors like David Koechner and Juliana Margulies signed on because Samuel. So it just is such a funny domino effect. And honestly, if I'm a super famous actor like Samuel Jackson, that's exactly how I would use my clout, is start starring in movies that I think sound really dumb and awesome. And then just because I have so much clout, I then attract other big name actors to be in my Snakes on a Plane movie. It's so good.
Yeah, the cast is a lot of fun people popping up. I mean, it's directed, first off, by David R. Ellis.
Yes.
Who directed Final Destinations 2, which I really liked.
It's my favorite Final Destination.
And 4, which is the biggest pile of shit ever.
Yeah.
The 3D
it's
one.
Not good.
I fucking hate that fucking movie. But I did mention in my kill counts that he had that crazy, mysterious death in South Africa. Just found dead in the bathroom, in a hotel bathroom with no cause of death released. I think that was 2013 about. Really unfortunate. But yeah, so that guy, he does great with this movie.
Yes.
Like, this movie, like I said, it is exactly what it needs to be. The tone is perfect because it's a ridiculous premise that everyone knows about going in, but it still treats it mostly straightforward. There's a snake button on the microwave, and that's little bit weird.
Yeah.
And then there's also at least one scene where Sammy Jackson looks like he's about to fucking break.
There's one line delivery I'll edit in where it's him talking about building a barrier to keep the snakes out of the front of the plane, where I think he's about to start laughing.
He's saying it through a smile. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody listen. We have to put a barrier between us and the snakes.
But everyone is treating it like it's so
everyone plays it dead serious.
It's dead serious.
So good.
And yet they acknowledge, they're like, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but there's snakes on the plane.
Yeah.
It's always like an acknowledgement of the absurdity, and then they move on and they're like, okay, let's address it.
God, I love it. It's so good. It plays it the way that I love, in the same way that Anaconda does, where it's just, we're taking it seriously.
And the other fascinating thing, at least I found it fascinating, is that this is a 2006 movie, and it is not mean. And that helped a lot in my enjoyment of it.
I was scared. I was honestly a bit nervous to rewatch this. And I remember even before we started it, I said, this might be meaner than I remember it being. Because I just assume anything that comes out in the mid-2000s, especially an R-rated movie, I don't know, it's just gonna have.
You would expect all these characters to just be awful people who you're rooting for to die, because that was kind of the ethos back then of if you make the characters shitty, then it'll be fun to watch them die.
Yeah.
And that's not the case here. Actually, this cast is full of characters that you hope don't die, and most of them don't. Which is kind of enjoyable.
There's only a handful of people,
named people who die.
Yeah.
Lin Shaye, who's great.
I love Lin Shaye.
She is running around.
Dude, I love Lin Shaye. I want I don't know, I would watch a whole movie about her being this flight attendant, because she just hints that she got up to this couple
she's
joins
Miles High Club.
those were the days.
No, he's good.
I love her.
Yeah, and it was like she could have retired, but she didn't.
Yeah, this old broad needed one more tour of duty or whatever. She's God, I fucking love
That's
Lin
the other
Shaye.
thing is every character kind of gets a moment. They all get a moment to be either heroic or funny or even what is he a rapper 3Gs
3Gs
yes played by Flex Alexander.
He has his own little arc in this, which I
Yeah.
thought was kind of amazing, where he goes from we see he's a big germaphobe, which I mean we're watching this in the middle of quarantine and I'm just thinking fair dude. Yeah, he has his own little arc where he goes from being a big germaphobe to not even thinking about helping people on the plane. I mean, he eventually
Actively.
pulls out a gun at one point, and
Yeah.
I just again, all I could think of was that Key and Peele sketch where I'm like, how'd he get that gun through security? Oh, it's probably 3D printed, dude. Perfectly legal.
Yeah, except what's great about 2006 technology is that's right in the middle of things.
Yes, it's
and
awesome.
So they're like, oh, let's send them pictures. Oh, yeah, how are you going to do that? We would need like an internet connection and a camera and then the
blonde girl who was Cher in The Clueless.
Exactly, and she was also Rachel Blanchard is the actor's name. She was also in The Rage Carrie 2, playing another similarly haughty socialite type character. She pulls out her cell phone and is like, "This has both."
This has both. Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
I like that character too. I was even like when they introduced her, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be
such an easy character to make really obnoxious and
Yeah.
you just root for her to die. But she's not that.
Yeah, she's really sweet and she has her moment of because unfortunately her little dog Mary Kate gets eaten because this fucking asshole British guy who that's the one person I was about to say
Yeah.
earlier is you just want that dude to die.
And he does.
And he does. He gets eaten. He gets John Voided by a snake.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, just gobbled up. But yeah, she gets to have her moment of a big fuck you to that guy who is an absolute dick to her. But she's such a Paris Hilton.
And this is like peak Paris Hilton hate.
Oh yeah, mid 2000s.
Yeah. Easy. If you're going to make a Paris Hilton character, you would expect her to be super despisable and snake fodder here.
Yeah, if this was a really mean movie in the style I expect from the 2000s, this character is just toast. You know, she has like the dog and she's just so
Little chihuahua, yeah.
Yeah, but luckily she is a nice person and I would hang out with her.
Sure.
And hang out with Mary Kate, her little doggie.
Yeah, well, that dog's dead now. So
Oh no!
I mean, I don't know in real life. Probably also.
Probably
though,
also.
It was 14 years ago.
That's
now.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that this was that long ago.
I know.
Ugh,
Yep.
Yuck. Yeah. It's weird though, and this is not something I was expecting at all to discuss in the context of Snakes on a Plane, but it is weird speaking of just characters that are likable and characters like the Lin Shaye character and this kind of Paris Hilton type. There's a lot of cool women in this. It's really that's not something I remembered at all about this, but there's women in this who aren't just the butts of jokes and get to do stuff. Juliana Margulies has agency and is really cool, but not to the point where I feel like she's a stock character that is just there to be like, women are strong and amazing.
Yeah, and there's just the slightest hint of a romantic angle between her and Samuel L. Jackson, but it doesn't overcome the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like there's a little bit of chemistry there, and then at the end they're like, let's get together sometime.
Yeah, and then, speaking of Samuel L. Jackson and just there's a lot of leading dudes in this that aren't white who save the day. The one white dude in this is just kind of there.
The who I assumed would be the main character, it's the surfer guy, Sean Jones, and that's what kicks this whole movie off is surfer guy Sean Jones, played by Nathan Phillips. I don't really recognize him and stuff.
Oh
he's
man.
Australian.
Yeah, this movie, he's motocrossing.
Oh,
X
yeah, it's
Games,
great.
baby.
Fuck yeah, he's motocrossing and drinking Red Bulls.
Drinking Red Bull. Oh my god, the very beginning of this, my soul I just ascended into mid 2000s heaven. I was like, fuck, this is exactly where I want to be. Everything is very beachy. For some reason, we were all obsessed with the fucking beach in the 2000s, like Hollister and shit.
Oh, yeah.
All the, like, we were all just really into the beach, even if we lived nowhere near one. And we got the Donovan Frankenreiter music playing. I haven't thought about that dude since the 2000s. Donovan Frankenreiter. I think
Is that the Donovan?
No, that's not. No, Donovan doesn't need a last name.
Okay.
Donovan is Donovan. This is Donovan Frankenreiter, who did, I think he did that, always have to steal my kisses from you. Do, 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 do. Just all those very
Oh, you know what I thought
pleasant
of?
2000 songs.
When I heard that song, I'm not familiar with this Donovan, but I was thinking of that song that's like, hey, I'll be gone today. And I'll be gone another way. It's like that kind of.
Also, I was wrong. That Steal My Kisses song is Ben Harper, Ben Harper rules.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Ben Harper?
I don't know Ben
anyway,
Harper. I'm
I
sorry.
love my 2000s
I get hard.
acoustic men. But yeah, I know. Yeah, hey.
Or like a Jack Johnson type.
Yes,
you
Jack
know?
Johnson. Oh my God.
Yeah, real sandy guys.
We're sitting on the beach with our acoustic guitar, making banana pancakes.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, for sure. But oh man, I ascended to another plane. I was in just. It was such escapism. I think from where we are currently at today.
But yeah, that guy Sean Jones witnesses a murder. It's a L.A. prosecutor who gets killed by a
Eddie Kim,
a gangster guy, and then that really it's just there to set up the plot.
I know. I was thinking about that yesterday. How I realized, where the fuck is Eddie Kim?
We check in with him once when he's like kickboxing in his apartment, but the conclusion to the Eddie Kim storyline consists of what's his name, Bobby Cannavale or whatever, however you say it, on a phone saying, "Go arrest Eddie Kim, ask him if he wants to get gassed or injected," and that's it. We never see him get arrested, and you know what? It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter.
While watching the movie, I was like, "Can we see that happen?" And then later, I was like, "We didn't need to see that happen. We're here for the fucking snakes on the fucking plane."
Yeah, and I just love that we're introduced to this whole, like, this guy's just ex-gaming, and he just, like, man, I hate when I motocross right into a cartel hit. That sucks. That's not a good day. Yeah.
And they find out where he is. They come to try to kill him. And then Sam Jackson appears out of fucking nowhere.
Here's the thing. I couldn't stop thinking about this because, and it's what I love about this is this movie knows what it needs to explain.
Exactly.
No one fucking cares how Samuel Jackson knows where this kid is because he even says, you witnessed a mafia hit and told no one.
Yeah. How does he know that?
Keyword, told no one. How the fuck? I just
doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter because this movie knows you don't fucking care about that. All you want to see snakes on planes, and it's fine.
Yep.
I also yesterday was thinking about the script writing process in terms of, like, because this movie, apparently the concept, at least, I don't know how many rewrites this went through or what, but I think the guy who originally wrote this wasn't a screenwriter.
Yeah, just a professor.
He was a professor or something. Like, this is, I mean, that's amazing, by the way. Big ups to that dude for coming up. He did the thing where he
didn't do the thing. He did not write the thing. Just be real clear
there. He did that thing where if you work in the film industry and you tell anyone who is like your family or, you know, who doesn't really work in film that you are at least even tangentially related to film, they will have a pitch for you. And it's usually very bad. And that, you know, but this guy took that pitch that he said that he would, I could imagine if this dude's my uncle, he'd be like, oh man, you know what? Tell your Hollywood friends I got this great idea for a movie about a bunch of snakes that get he fucking wrote it and made it.
Yeah, this guy is like the guy who everyone wants to be, because everyone has an idea for a movie, and everyone, like you said, they'll pitch it to their friends who live in LA because, like, you got to know the people who can get this thing made. This guy fucking did it.
It's so. God, it owns. He's written some other screenplays apparently.
David D'Alessandro.
Yeah, and he's gotten. I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now. He's been He's been a finalist in like Academy screenwriting competition. So like he's a good writer. This is the thing. But then yeah, he wrote Snakes on a Plane. I love it.
On the reason he wrote the screenplay, he said, "I hate snakes and I hate to fly."
Yeah. It's
great.
Love it. Yeah. I just think that's incredible and I really admire it. Never too late to pursue your dreams, guys.
Yeah.
You know?
So Eddie Kim that gangster, he wants to silence this witness to his crime, and so his plan is to sneak a self-destructing crate of snakes, as in the door will blow off.
A
timer to blow off the door to let them loose, and spray down Lay's with snake pheromones that then the passengers will wear. And
because they're all coming back from Hawaii. So
exactly, it's Hawaii to LAX, and it'll initiate the snake's aggression, and they'll come out and maybe take down the whole plane and solve Eddie Kim's problems.
So
it's
fucking
so
funny.
Dumb.
It's just
they even address it.
There's so many other, because that's the thing is when I was talking about just the screenwriting process, this is what I totally meant to say. I got very sidetracked. Surely they had to sit and think, well, how do we get to the central premise of this film, which is a bunch of snakes on a plane? What leads up to this? And there's no easy way to get there, and there has to be some kind of reason for there. Do you know, it's like actually kind of a challenging script puzzle to work out.
Working backwards from that premise.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I mean, this works, but yeah, it is insane that there's so many other better ways to order a hit but this is, I don't know. Yeah, the idea is all of these snakes get loose, and either he counts on the snakes just killing his target, or if the snakes just kill the entire plane and the plane crashes into the ocean, that also works.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's such a good idea.
I mean, it almost works.
It almost works,
Those
dude.
snakes fuck up the electronics and shit.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, he's got these, they're hacker snakes. Yeah, they rip out wires and shit. Oh, man. Apparently a lot of real snakes were used on set.
Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it.
It seems mostly fucking cartoony snakes crawling
around. They're a little
around.
sci-fi quality.
Yeah.
It's fine. It works for me.
It just barely works.
Yeah. If they looked any worse, it would be unwatchable. But
because they're pretty bad.
They're bad. I love that apparently in Samuel Jackson's contract. He
had to stay 25 feet away from real
and
actual
I think
snakes.
that was more his agents than, because I saw some quote from him where he said that his team was more afraid of the snakes than he was. I think it was just everyone being overly cautious. Yeah.
But Samuel L. Jackson, he is an FBI guy. He also has this partner who I entirely forgot about 20 minutes after watching the movie. Yeah, just some random partner. But the two of them take this witness, that surfer guy, Sean Jones, who they keep calling the kid, and who I'm not sure how old his character is supposed to be. He's a little craggly, a little sunburned. He's a little raisiny, and I looked it up.
Is that Final Destination 2 also
where the kid is ambiguously aged? Yeah. David Ellis, what are you doing?
What are we doing?
But the actor is in fact 26, which I had guessed 27.
That completely tracks. Yeah. Yes, mid-20s. He's living by himself, surfer. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But, they're calling him kid. I call people kids. As long as they're younger than me, I'll call them kids. So, they commandeer this flight. It's first class cabin, so it's just them in the first class.
Two-story plane.
Yep.
I've never in my life been on a two-story plane.
I think they're retiring a bunch of them because no one fucking needs that.
The amount of fuel you'd have to have, they don't seem like they should be able to fly. They're like bumblebees. I just don't think a two-story
plane. Well, I also
plane.
don't trust double-decker buses.
Oh, yeah, you go under a bridge that's too short?
Yeah, like a fucking can opener.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Unless that dude from Harry Potter is driving it.
Oh, where it shrinks and stuff?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
You can take care of it.
But yeah, a two-story plane I just associate with, I think of The Wedding Singer and like Billy Idol's up in the...
Oh, that's...
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think you can only be, in my head, you can only be on a two-story plane if you're a couple on a honeymoon in the 90s. Like that's the only place where that exists.
There is a couple on their honeymoon here.
Yes, there is.
Taylor Kitsch, he's like a...
That's not the honeymoon couple. Taylor Kitsch is just the couple that's there to fuck.
He's in the bathroom?
Yeah.
That's why he's so hot.
Yes.
That guy
Taylor
is
Kitsch was
chiseled.
2000s hottie.
Oh my God.
I forget what else he was in. Oh, he was John Carter.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say John Carpenter.
He's John Carter of Mars. That's right.
That bomb. That giant fucking bomb.
Yeah.
There is a honeymooning couple, though. There's also, like we said, rapper 3Gs.
3Gs.
He won't give you brain cancer. Neither will 5G. But he's there with his bodyguards. There's another guy, and then there's Keenan.
Keenan
is his
Thompson.
bodyguard. He's also so big and famous that he's signing boobies in the airport before he leaves, and that boobie he signs is Crystal Lowe, who fans of the Kill Count will have seen many times. She was most recently in Final Destination 2. She was also in... Wrong Turn 2. She was one of the tanning bed girls in Final Destination 3. Oh. And then she was in the Black Christmas remake.
Got it.
In all of those movies, she got naked. In this one, she keeps her top on when her boob is signed over the clothes. I thought she'd be on the plane. It's weird that she's not.
I have to respect 3Gs for signing the shirt, because I always think that when you see rock stars signing boobs, I just think, well... It's gonna
wash off.
Yeah, but that one you get your boob signed, and also you can keep the autograph.
That's true.
So it's two good. It's two for the price of one.
Just like boobs.
Just like boobs.
Juliana Margulies is the main character outside of Sammy J.
Yeah, she's a day away from retirement.
About to go be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not familiar with this actor, but she is
she's the good wife, right?
Good Wife, ER. She is a very successful
TV.
And yes.
TV that I wouldn't watch.
Exactly. It's
actor.
TV that I never watch, but to many Americans, I'm sure she's extremely famous. So that's cool.
I think she's fine in this. I find her very, like, I completely believe that she is going to leave this job to be a lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Yes, she's believable. She's a good anchor to this whole thing.
Yeah, but it's also not the thing I kind of like about this is it's not like she's leaving to be a lawyer because the job of flight attendant feels beneath her. All the other flight attendants are like, they're fucking awesome. They hold this plane down. Like they are. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems more of like, I want a change of pace rather than like, fuck, I'm so sick of this shit. Yeah. We see her coworkers all love her. And I don't know. I just like the dynamic we get with her at her job. And she also she's very reassuring and comforting to the kids on the plane and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like her.
Yeah, one of their flight attendant coworkers, Tiffany, is she like gets a crush on Surfer Guy. They kind of implied hookup at the end, but that actor, Sonny Mabry, is the one who I had never heard of, but I looked her up online, and she appeared in the music video for Nookie.
Hell yeah.
Limp Bizkit. Yeah!
It's that, oh man.
I came into this world as a reject. Look into these eyes, then you'll see the size of the facts.
Dude, everything comes back to Limp Bizkit.
Everything comes back to Limp Bizkit.
Oh my God. Just like soul leaving body ascending to mid 2000s Nirvana. So good.
Should I be feeling bad? Should I be feeling good? It's kind of sad. I'm the laughing stock of the neighborhood.
You're so good at that.
Thank you. There's a new mom with a new baby born.
Baby boy.
Elsa Pataki plays her, and she was in the third Reanimator movie. The Spanish actor who was the main character in that movie.
It's so funny. This is the only place where you'll hear someone be like, Elsa Pataki of
From Beyond Reanimator.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like reducing people to who they're married to.
She's married to Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of Chris's.
She is Thor's wife.
Yes.
But also she was in the third Reanimator.
You ever seen pictures of him holding his baby? It's like, man.
Just holding him up like
he's
a hammer?
so big, and he's just holding this little baby like a football. Oh, man. Absolute dad.
Lest we forget, co-pilot of the plane,
David Koechner.
Whammy,
yeah. I love David Koechner in anything he shows up in.
He's always an asshole.
Oh, wait. He also was in A Final Destination.
He's in maybe my favorite, the last one, the fifth one.
Oh, that one is also amazing.
Yeah.
It's so, because what, then David R. Ellis wouldn't have had.
He would have had nothing to do with that movie.
So weird.
Yep. Same thing with same thing with Final Destination 3, Crystal Lowe was in, and that was not one of his. He did 2 and 4, not 3 or
That's
1
so
or 5.
weird.
Yeah.
When was that last Final Destination?
The last Final Destination would have been 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
2003.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, David Koechner also an asshole in that. I can't think of anything.
He's the least asshole in that. He's also, he's in Krampus as like the gun-toting relative who appears to be an asshole, but also has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
So.
He's
Good at riding that line. And here he's just more of a dick.
Yeah, he is sexually harassing all of his coworkers.
Yep.
And again, like in a movie from the mid-2000s, I would expect like that, but not played as like this guy's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
That would be more of like our main character's doing it and he's an absolute pimp, Yeah.
But no, everyone just kind of rolls their eyes at him.
Yeah.
Jesus, that is most of the cast. There's
a
like
lot
it's a huge fucking cast, and they're all really good character actors, man.
Everyone in this, even the like day players and like background people, everyone in this deserves an award because there's so many sequences of absolute chaos. We have snakes coming down from the ceiling because the masks get deployed.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes are falling out of that trap door essentially.
Yeah.
And we got snakes crawling up from just there's so
One
many.
lady gets a snake who kind of fucking
It goes up
feels
her
on
dress.
man. Yeah.
Truly,
She's a little into
so
it,
many
though.
fucking snakes on this fucking plane. It's so many.
Snakes in a barf bag.
Snakes in the bar bag.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shot of a guy just holding a snake and screaming. He's like screaming
Oh,
at
that's
it.
so funny.
It's so funny.
Ah!
But like, there's just so many cuts to just different people getting fucked up by snakes, and everyone is doing such a good job of selling the shit out of being attacked by snakes. CGI snakes.
Yeah.
And everyone's just so good.
It's great.
Everyone's playing it as genuinely in pain, genuinely scared, but that's what makes it so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, this does not work if everyone's just play acting like, oh, haha, isn't this funny? Oh, snakes on a plane. Everyone is like, no, screaming for their lives. It's so good.
And some of the deaths are pretty intense.
Yes,
I mean,
there were some I remembered, and I'd only seen this once.
Which ones did you remember?
So ones that I remembered and was looking forward to seeing again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember that snake biting that woman's titty.
Okay. Oh, yeah, in the bathroom?
In the bathroom.
Yeah, he bites her right on the nipple.
Yeah.
And then quickly followed by equal opportunity snake biting the guy in the dick.
Yeah, I remember the guy peeing on the snake and then that guy getting bit on the like I remember that.
Those are the first people killed in the bathrooms of the plane.
I'm trying to remember. Those are the two that like specifically I remember. Probably because they're just so. Those are very sensitive body parts.
There's some gnarly shit. There's like a stampeding crowd. One guy gets a heel.
He gets stepped
on. A high heel
yeah.
goes straight into his head.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
I didn't remember beforehand, but when it happened, it immediately came back to me.
Yeah.
Same with that shitty British dude just lobbing that dog at this giant
poor Mary
snake.
Kate.
Yeah, I remember that. A lot of this I remember. It's so weird.
When
the barf bag snake, I remember.
Barf bag snake is great. Closer to the end, when everyone's retreating into the upper cabinet, the stair banister breaks and people fall down, and then they fall and get impaled by shit going through their necks and their faces.
I think
it is
one
brutal,
of them is
man.
like a receipt. Why do those even exist?
The spindles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Slam receipts down. There has to be a better way than this giant spike.
They exist strictly so that Come to Daddy can have that kill at the end.
Awful. Fuck. If you haven't seen Come to Daddy, big recommend. For another very good receipt.
And then with
kill.
snakes, you get they're getting tased.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson is just kind of casually. He's like on the phone even, just tasing snakes.
They're getting fire extinguished.
Yeah.
Just sprayed with that. They're getting thrown in the microwave and the snake button pressed and blown up.
He presses the snake button.
He does. Well, you got to cook it properly.
Well, that one it's so funny. I remembered the snake button, but in my head I thought it was he hits like an actual number and there's a snake button. If you see it, it's a funny joke.
Okay.
But
I
no,
think he hits
hits that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he hits it. That character is I would say the most 2006 character here, because
Yes,
he's kind of
easily.
an effeminate guy.
He's a male flight attendant. And the
Yes,
stereotype
male flight attendant,
is
yep.
male flight attendants are all gay.
And there's a scene where he's like talking to this other guy who we didn't mention because there's so many characters. He's like a kickboxer dude who's kind of cool. He ends up like saving the socialite, but she hops on his back and
I ship them.
Yeah.
I think they'd be really cute together.
But this flight attendant dude has a scene where he's talking to that guy. And he's like, "Oh, I do kickboxing with my girlfriend." And the guy's like, "Yeah, girlfriend." And then there's another scene where 3G's other non-Keenan bodyguard got bit in the butt, and the flight attendant's like, "I think we gotta like suck the poison." I was like, "No, get away from my butt." So there's those jokes.
Yeah.
And then the thing in the end is like,
Oh,
his
he's
girlfriend's
not actually
there.
gay. He
Oh,
has
he's
a
not.
super hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could have been meaner.
That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
For a 2000s movie, could have
Mm-hmm.
been a lot meaner to that character. But also, that guy, isn't a joke the entire movie.
Oh no, he's
you know?
he's displayed as competent.
Yeah,
Sammy
he's
Jackson
really-
relies on him at least twice. Like,
Yeah.
"Yo, Ken, help me out here." And
yeah,
there he is.
and there's a moment, at least, and this is the character arc of 3Gs that I enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Where he apologizes for pushing him. It's like, I think that's after he pulls out a gun on everyone,
It is after he
which
pulls
is
out the gun.
extremely funny.
And Keenan's like, "Clarence, I don't even know you anymore."
Clarence. I love that his name is Clarence.
There's also tiny little kids, the two little brothers who are flying without their parents. And there's like, I don't know, the older one's probably what, like 10?
Yeah, I think I would
Maybe
guess
12. Or would do you think a little younger?
I don't
It's
know.
hard to tell.
I don't know.
He's old enough to know what death is. Because
Yes.
his baby brother, who's probably what, like 4, 5, gets
5 or
bit.
6, yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, is he gonna die? I was supposed to take care of him.
Oh my god!
That
And
line
honestly, like the
really got me.
little kids, because they are very sweet little boys. They're not
Yeah.
annoying little kid actors.
They're not precocious.
They're not the type of kid in a horror movie where I'm like, I hope this movie goes the full distance and just fucks these kids up. I just always have to admire it because it's so ballsy. But these kids, you want to, they're very sweet and you care about them and you care for their safety.
And because there was no one got a picture of the snake that bit the little one, the older one draws
he
a
draws
picture
of
him
the snake
to
that
give at the
you're
end for the
because
antidote.
we see him coloring. He's drawing a snake, and at first you think like, oh man, it's just I don't know,
Trauma,
is this
yeah.
a coping thing or what? But then you realize at the end that to administer the right anti-venom, the doctor's like, well, I don't know what kind of but the brother drew the and I was like, oh, I was touched by it. That was so
Yeah.
sweet. I don't know. I think also just as I'm an older sibling, and that's about the age difference between me and my sister. It's like,
yeah.
I feel this. It's good. I don't know. That's like such a really sweet heroic moment.
Lin
Shaye
Shaye
saves a baby. Okay, any movie where Lin Shaye sacrifices herself to save a baby rules. That's so fucking cool.
I know, and she's one of the few named characters who does die.
Yeah, and
But
it's
she dies
sad.
heroically.
It really, dude, the gravity that is lent to Lin Shaye dying, it feels like saying goodbye to like the matriarch of a clan. It was like, oh my god, leader of our flight attendant clan is, we have to have a Viking funeral for Lin Shaye. It just, I don't know, she just feels like such a fucking village elder. It's such a, I love the dynamic here.
Yeah, because I like how this movie, you get your deaths in of all these nameless background characters, but then you also get to have most of the people survive who you want to see live. The only people who are really defined who die, let's see, we got Lin Shaye, we got douchey British guy who throws the dog to the snake, so thus he deserves to die.
Honeymoon couple dies.
Honeymoon couple dies. It's very foamy, and you know what? They're the right ones to pick to die because you feel it. Because he's an anxious flyer, and they even have a very sweet moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good human, like, I forget what, I think it was the Meg, where I mentioned how in movies like this, it's very hard to set up quickly reasons to care about characters that don't feel phony and tropey, where it's like, this woman just had a baby, therefore you have to care about, It's like, these feel very organic and sweet. And this movie is another one that does it really well, like the Meg does, where you have this couple on their honeymoon and he's an anxious flyer. I get it, dude. I am too. And at one point his new wife says, well, if you're such an anxious flyer, why did you pick Hawaii? And he says, well, that's because that's where you wanted to go. And,
yeah.
Oh,
it was so sweet. So yeah, that led,
sweet.
and so I'm covering Quarantine 2 Terminal, which also takes place on a plane. And I've already filmed it and everything. It'll be out soon. But that movie is a very cheap direct-to-DVD movie. And it does exactly the opposite. It just gives each character, like, one person's like, yeah, I haven't seen my husband in over a year. I'm going to see him. And another guy's like, I have a 3-year-old daughter at home.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
It's just where it's like, okay, but it doesn't feel baked in the way that I give a shit. It just is like, oh, fuck, we gotta have a reason for you to, okay, this woman
There's a pregnant couple there.
Yeah.
All that's said is like, oh, I'm going to be a daddy. And that's it. Whereas opposed with this,
that
it's like,
crazy delivery,
yeah,
I'm gonna be a
daddy. But as in this, it's like, you get that information through real interactions rather than just saying it aloud as a, like, feel bad for me when I die.
Yeah, and you get to see all these people interact with each other and, like, work together. For the most part, you're not getting the zombie movie style, like the real villain is people, where it's everyone like, no, the real villain is snakes.
Yeah, 3Gs is the one who comes closest to it, and the British guy.
But then, they talk him down. He apologizes, and that's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the British guy, we're just gonna feed that dude to the snakes, whatever. But yeah,
I like how he dies, and then you get to see his body later.
Get sucked out of the flame.
Yeah, because that's the fucking amazing way to end this movie.
God, it rules so
they're
hard.
like, all right, we gotta get these snakes off this plane. It's after the line. I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. So Sam Jackson's motherfucking plan to get the snakes off the plane is everyone tie yourselves down.
God, it's so good.
I'm gonna shoot out the windows of this plane, Goldfinger style, and suck all these
snakes
are
gonna get stuck. That's the best part, is because the problem is they need to land, because both the pilots are dead now, and Keenan says, I have several thousand hours of flight experience, leaving out the part where it's all a video game.
Yep.
Fair. I wouldn't say that up front either. Let's not cause everyone to panic. But the problem is there's a bunch of snakes in the cockpit, and instead of a sequence where maybe Sam Jackson goes in with an axe or like he uses the makeshift flamethrower and just sets, no, damn it, it's snakes on a plane. Instead, we're gonna do this crazy ass set the most like roundabout way to get rid of all these snakes. We're gonna suck all the snakes out of the plane by creating a vacuum where they all get sucked out the sides. Very Final Destination 1 feeling of just plane being ripped apart midair. It's
terrifying.
Honestly terrifying, there's just shit flying everywhere. All I could think is, oh my God, someone's just gonna get knocked out, but they all are in the emergency. They have their heads covered and stuff. It's so good. It's such a more fun way to end this rather than, this movie doesn't suffer from third act issues. Yeah. I'm into this the whole time.
Exactly.
This movie does the third act so well in a way that creature movies usually lose me, because I think what happens is third acts in creature movies are often just more of the same thing but bigger. Yeah,
it's fighting a lot of the spiders. It's fighting the biggest snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just let's save the most, like, okay, let's figure out how to get rid of all the snakes instead of just like a big snake fight where we're just hatcheting up snakes or whatever. No, let's make this a fun problem-solving thing where it's a set piece and it's visually interesting, and this movie does that so well.
Yeah, I'd say the closest this movie comes to action movie doldrums for me is Sam Jackson going into the bottom of the plane to turn the power back on.
Yes.
That's the only sequence where it
action
feels...
movie that's such exactly what it is.
Right?
Like the doldrums of an action movie where I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, and
it's
that's the only one where it comes
happening.
close to like, oh, we kind of need to have a sequence where he's in the dark and there's snakes and he's got the flamethrower. But even that, it's fine. It's not too long. It's fine.
Yeah. God, this movie's good.
It's a good
Snakes
movie,
on a Plane
man.
is actually very good.
And it's not even... It's longer than 90 minutes. It's like an hour 45.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It feels... Yeah. Yeah. It's... I love it. But yeah, so Keenan lands the plane, which is, again, I love that we get this character. Everyone gets their hero moment. Yes, Sam Jackson is kind of the main guy, and he, if you asked who saves the day in Snakes, it's Sam Jackson. But like,
Keenan's a fucking hero.
Yeah, dude.
He lands this fucking plane.
He should have gotten a medal from the president.
He should have after he slid down that.
But they
fun little
everyone in
raft.
this is key to everyone surviving, and Lin Shaye saves the baby, and it's good. It's teamwork. I love it. Love to see it.
Even main guy, quote unquote main guy, the surfer guy.
He stops listening to Sam Jackson's demands of him to just stay put. And he's like, no, fuck this. I'm gonna go help people. And if he hadn't helped,
all those people would have died. Because what's great is first they retreat from the back of the plane to the front of the plane where there aren't the snakes, and they put they put barriers up in the doorways. And then in just a brilliant use of your setting for the movie, turbulence in the plane causes the beverage carts to roll down the aisle and just bust up the barricades.
Yeah.
And just
there's
let
snakes
the snakes
on
come
the
through.
beverage carts that are being catapulted. It's so good.
It's good. And then they end up going upstairs to the first class, and in a very satisfying visual, they block the whole of the stairwell with an inflatable raft.
And it fits in there. It fits like a diaphragm.
Perfect. Yeah, it really is.
It fits in there like a diaphragm. Yeah. I like to. We were talking about this during the whole ending sequence that Keenan's experience is a flight simulator, and honestly, if there's no one on board who's a pilot, the person I would trust the most is someone who has a few thousand hours logged in, because flight simulators,
especially if they've got the controller,
cockpit, because where you can actually buy the
whole dash.
My friend's
of the plane.
dad had one of those.
Yeah, it's a dad thing to do.
It's very
Give me a few years, I'll probably buy one.
I know it'd be kind of fun to play one of those because they're intense.
They have simulators of everything now, not just flight. They have forklift simulators and semi-truck simulators, and they're all extremely realistic.
That's what
physics
I want.
Control, just so you can learn the difficulty of those things.
That's the thing if you haven't played a flight simulator, it's you're learning how to fly a plane.
It's not flying a game it's not flying a plane in a war game like Battlefield.
No, the whole game is learning how to use the controls of a plane. So I'm like, you know what? Sure. That's who I'm gonna trust in an emergency to land the plane. Is Keenan.
This movie is not super cliche. It's not super stereotypical, and that's why I liked it so much. Obviously, it's absurd. It is a B-movie title with a B-movie premise, and it knows what it is, and it could have just delivered a Sci-Fi Channel piece of shit. Yeah. But it cares about itself.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not even saying pointing out just casting and okay, it's not just a bunch of action movie white dudes saving. It's I don't even think this movie is trying to be, because that wasn't the dialogue at all back then, making movies diverse. That's such a new conversation. Back then, I feel like that was reserved for very specific critical circles, and the idea of representation in film is a pretty new thing, at least in terms of a broad conversation. I don't know. I genuinely, I don't think this movie was trying to be that at all.
And those things aren't why I like the movie.
No,
I think they are symptoms of the underlying reasons that I like this movie.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not cliche.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. It just.
I hope that makes sense. We're not saying, oh yeah, we like this movie because of these things.
Because it's a feminist. No. I'm just saying I think it's neat that, because something I hate is in, an era where we're being more conscious of who we're casting and stuff for good reasons, and it's cool. But I also, and I'm speaking as just a woman watching other women in film, I always hate it when I can tell, oh man, we're doing a thing where it's this women can do it all, where it just feels very aware of it, and it's patting itself on the back for being diverse, and it's
self-congratulatory.
It's gross. But this isn't that. I think it happened to shake out that way, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's cool. Like it.
Like this movie, man.
I really like this movie. Big recommend Snakes on a Plane.
I don't know if I would kill count it. It seems difficult.
I think you should kill count it.
Got the Chelsea
I think
seal
you
of
should.
approval.
Yeah, I don't think it, because there's only so many people that can be on this plane. And also, there's shots of the entire, you would see how many people are on it.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say about a lot of movies. Huh? You're going to be one of those people. Why don't you just count how many people were in the church in the purge, and then you can just use that number.
Fair, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, big fan. I would recommend it. It's, 2006 me thought that the only way that you would want to see this movie is a midnight premiere, which is why I never watched it. 2020 James is saying, no, you can watch it at home and still have a damn good time.
Yeah, and I would say, to borrow from friends of the show, We Hate Movies, good hangover movie.
Oh, yeah.
Good hangover movie.
For sure. You don't have to pay that much attention. There's a reason we didn't go beat by beat with the plot.
No.
It's just snakes on a plane.
It's just snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, again, Samuel L. Jackson just asserting, no, we're calling it Snakes on a Plane. And he's still...
We didn't even talk about the fucking black market snake dealer.
Oh,
like the illegal snake smuggler who they have get bit by a snake and then hold the antidote over him until he gives them the information they need.
Honestly, because I at first I was thinking no way, but then you know what? FBI would do that. I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's real to me.
And then there's like the snake expert who just looks so fucking
over
all these snake questions.
When he walked out at first, I thought he was David Cross.
I thought he was David Cross too.
David Cross as a reptile expert makes 100% sense.
Yeah, and an
to me.
arrogant.
Yeah, a really exhausted snake expert who cannot handle how little you know about snakes. Like when Samuel Jackson's like, I don't know, I saw a rattlesnake and a cobra, and just you have to be more specific. There's so many kinds of cobra, just
and just another thing I'm going to try to articulate about why I like this movie is I think it'd be so easy for everyone to hate that snake expert and to just be like, this fucking haughty ass guy, nobody cares what he thinks. Samuel L. Jackson is clearly kind of annoyed, but it seems almost like he's more annoyed at himself for not knowing the information, and he like acquiesces to this guy's expertise. He's like, oh, you're kind of, but okay, I'll get you the information you need.
He's describing the colors of the snake.
Exactly.
And then at the end we see the snake expert helping the kids, I think, with the drawing, and even that guy, you realize he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's just patient with the kids. He's not like, well, you idiot kids. Like it's great.
Everyone
so
in this
good,
is
man.
I did not think it's one of those movies where I remembered parts of it, but I didn't remember it well enough to remember, is it actually fun or is it, but I did not expect it all this week to watch Snakes on a Plane and realize I really enjoyed that. And then upon further inspection, it is even better to me. Like all of the parts of it are very good. I don't know. I was not expecting that this week, but here we are.
Man. Glad we watched it. Really glad we covered it.
Yeah.
Very nice. And very nice coming after the host, which was so like heady and, all these symbolism and stuff. It's so fun to have just to turn off your brain. Yeah. Really fun, but also really good movie.
Yeah, but it also is good.
It's also very good.
Different flavor.
For what exactly. Oh, I love movies.
I know.
They can be good in so many different ways.
Yeah, for real. I know. That's why I hate ranking or like giving numerical.
Yeah, how can you compare with a number, the host and Snakes on a Plane?
Yeah, because they both deserve a very good rating but they're not on the same scale of good. Yep. Movies are complex.
It's great, and I love what we do. And
yes.
Thank you for enabling that, listeners and viewers.
Seriously.
We'll have another thing for you next week.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, because again, we're moving soon.
Getting real close now.
Yeah. I noticed today we were on the phone and I said something kind of loud and I heard an echo, and I've never, because there's so much stuff off the walls
so much
now.
Stuff off. Yeah.
I had a
walls
moment.
Are bare, dude.
I think we'll keep doing creature movies until, or at least if not creature movies, we're going to like review movies, because for me, it's a little bit less of a workload
than the research stuff.
Than research-based episodes. So I think we're going to keep doing those until we're like settled in the new place. because we're both. I mean, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Turns out, moving is a lot.
Oh, yeah. And there is going to be, a time period where we're out of here, but maybe the set isn't ready in the new house.
Empty.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, just be patient.
Yeah.
That's while we figure our lives out.
In the meantime, you can follow Dead Meat on social media at Dead Meat James on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Carebeck, CREBECC on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com.
Yep. Email deadmeatpod@gmail.com if you so prefer. However, when it comes to the P.O. Box, we are going to be closing that down.
Closing it.
I'm sorry.
We love getting mail from
great.
Everyone. There's too much
It's
mail.
too much. It's now a daily thing with them calling me and saying you have mail, and it just builds up, and we're going to be moving further away from that location anyway.
Yeah.
And it's also just, it's so much.
It's a
so
lot.
I'm so sorry. We love everything that's been sent to us, but we do have to close it down.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just FYI.
Yes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for all that you have sent and all that you do for
End
us.
of an era.
Yeah.
The P.O. Box.
Yeah. That's about it. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
This has been the Dead Meat Podcast.